Welcome back to some more Elite Speak, and I am here with your AEW Dynamite review for October 21st, 2020. And this was the best live Dynamite episode in a while right here. It featured a lot of good matches and good promos as well. It was pretty much a well-rounded show, and that will become apparent when we get to a segment in particular. We kicked the night off with a AEW World Championship Eliminator match, and it featured Wardlow versus Jungle Boy. Good match. Jungle Boy starts the match trying to destroy Wardlow's legs. It was one of the few ways he is able to get an edge in this match. Jungle Boy attempted to crossbody Wardlow, but he gets caught and eventually launched into a ring post outside of the ring. Wardlow attempts to pin Jungle Boy, but gets a 1 count. He then tosses Jungle Boy twice as he was a sack of potatoes. He just like suplex tossed him like it was nothing. Wardlow later stomps Jungle Boy down in the corner and delivers a gut-wrench powerbomb for a 2 count. Jungle Boy attempts to Rana Wardlow again, but Wardlow counters, but Jungle Boy flips out of it, but he eats a clothesline not long after. Jungle Boy then fights back with a drop kick and a tope to Wardlow's back on the outside. Jungle Boy later hits a diving knee drop to Wardlow for a 2 count. Wardlow then F10s Jungle Boy into the ring from outside on the ramp. And when he gets into the ring, he delivers another F10 to Jungle Boy for the win. Wardlow wins in dominating fashion over Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy lost nothing in this loss. He didn't lose anything, because he's still going to be over. And he looked good in defeat. Wardlow continues his momentum. But I have a feeling that will come to an end next week, because I kind of don't think Adam Page is going to beat Wardlow. But we'll get to that later. After this, we recapped last week's Eddie Kingston promo that occurred when the show went off the air, and it was great. An I Quit match has been booked as a result of this for Full Gear in a few weeks. Following that, we had a Mox response promo. He says no one understands Eddie more than him. He keeps his circle tight. This is a guy that never changes. But Mox then goes to say, I don't know who this bitter guy is. And Mox isn't going to apologize for his success. The end of the promo there. Next match, we had Kenny Omega going up against Sonny Kiss. This was originally supposed to be Joey Janela's spot, but he was pulled from the match due to precautions related to the pandemic that is ongoing. So AEW didn't want to take any chances, so that cost Janela a big time spot, a big time match here. But for a replacement, Kiss did fine because, well, we're going to it now. Omega got a nice heelish intro for his entrance. Justin Roberts went over all of Kenny's accolades, his various accolades that he has accrued over his career thus far, including breaking the Meltzer scale more than one time, his run in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and his many great matches that he had in AEW, along with others that I did not get to jot down or commit to memory. He then walked to the ring confidently. The match starts, but before Sonny Kiss gets to do anything, Kenny Omega hits him with a B trigger and follows that up immediately with a one-winged angel for the win. Sonny Kiss was caught off guard here. Post-match, Kenny raises Sonny's hand, and Kiss was a bit apprehensive here. He didn't know what the heck was going on, because why would Kenny want to raise his hand after such a short match that he won dominantly in? So I thought that was heelish of him as well. Some don't, but I do. I think that was a clear sign. He also got up with a smirk on his face after he pinned Sonny, as if to say, this was nothing, had this in the bag. So I'm curious to see where this goes next week, because Omega will be going up against Phoenix. Ray Phoenix. By the way, the Wardlow Jungle Boy match gets a 3 from me. Good match. Definitely deserves to be on Dynamite. And the Omega versus Kiss match, it gets a 2.5. It was good, but because it was a squash, I'm not gonna praise it all that much. But it definitely got the job done, because it made Omega feel more of a big deal than he has felt in a long time. Next segment, Orange Cassidy was interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and he says sometimes things go your way and sometimes they don't. And then Orange Cassidy said, we're on our way to Cincinnati. And then Tony said, no, we're going to be here at Daly's place next week. And Cassidy said, whatever. And then the interview ended. Next segment, we had Dasha interviewing Cody as he arrived in style from his limo, it looks like. Cody thinks Orange Cassidy won't get it done again next week. Cody attempts his weight gain, etc., because he wants to be a giant killer or something like that. So he's trying to up his mass to be one of the bigger guys. That was pretty much it in that promo. And following this, we had a Eddie Kingston promo. He said this while fake crying. Before he gets to Mox, he's going to go to his family, aka the Lucha Brothers and the Butcher and the Blade. He boosts his family. He then may make a call to his old bosses for his job back, and he was referring to Moxley here. And Kingston said he had to become better. He's not going to go away. He's going to have to go to a dark place, and that so happens to be where Kingston lives. Another great promo from Eddie Kingston. Next match, we had Pentagon L0 versus Ray Phoenix, brother versus brother. And this match was a barn burner. It featured a scary spot for some, though. Kingston comes out to sit on commentary for this match. Both locked it up. Phoenix reverses a waist lock. Both trade arm drags to start. Phoenix then uses his momentum. Pentagon then went for a package power driver early, but Phoenix countered it. Phoenix then takes his brother's kicks. Both then trade chops. These were pretty hard, loud chops. Penta takes his glove off, and then business picks up. Phoenix went for a springboard, but Penta kicks him out of the air for a 2 count. Phoenix runs the rope, but Penta yanks the ropes for Phoenix to fall. Then we went to break. We come back from break. Pentagon gets a sling blade off on Phoenix from the middle of the rope. Phoenix then delivers a head scissor to Penta from the ropes. And then Phoenix later delivers a Spanish fly to Penta for a 2 count. And this was after Phoenix landed on his head a bit after going for a Hurricane Rana from the ropes to Pentagon. He seems to have recovered a bit from it at that point. Phoenix later wins with a nice Canadian destroyer to Pentagon. It was like a tilt-a-whirl version. And I thought the transition of that was great. And the match ended. Phoenix took that victory, and he would go on to face Kenny Omega, which should be a barn burner because these two have had a match together before in AAA, and we will be getting it in AEW now. Phoenix is actually the one that Omega won the AAA title from in AAA. The match gets a 4 from me. Many good spots here. Next segment, we had the Dark Order getting interviewed by Alex Marvez. And I didn't really get all of what they said here, but it was referring to their shot at the tag team titles later in the night. Next, we had Colt Cabana versus Adam Page. Both locked it up, and Colt rolls out of Page's hold. Colt gets Page to stop hitting the ropes to arm drag him. Then Page answers with a strike. Hangman knocks Colt down with a boot and gets a standing moonsault on him for a 2 count. Page later hits a pescado on Colt and throws him into the ring for a 2 count as we went to a picture-in-picture break. Back from the break, Hangman fall away slams Colt, then meets an elbow from Colt as Colt gets a tiaras to Page. Colt fools Page a bit and gets a 2 count from a roll-up. Page climbs the ropes, but Colt pushes him off as he hits the apron and gets a splash for his efforts to the outside. Cabana then went for a splash, but missed, and Page gets a pop-up powerbomb for a 2 count. Page then sets up for his buckshot lariat. Cabana then ducks, but Colt again gets Page to lay out on the apron. Cabana goes for a Chicago skyline, but Page lands on the apron and dodges the lariat again. Colt faked out Page, but Page still connects with his buckshot lariat for the win. Match gets a solid 3. Definitely Dynamite worthy. Post-match, Dark Order rushes the ring to Colt's rescue. They carried him out of it. Instead of arguing, they just calmly whisked him away from the ring. So the Dark Order may be turning a different lease on life here, maybe. More layers to him. I'm wondering why Brody Lee hasn't been around for a while, because his momentum is going to go down the more we don't see him on TV. Next segment, we had Team Taz out. Taz says a few weeks ago he made Hobbs an offer to join the group. They've yet to hear back from him, and he'd better get to thinking. Then they turn their attention to Darby Allin. Taz says, why does Darby get everything he needs / wants? What about Cage and Starks? Starks then gets the mic and says he showed up and showed off and says he's proven his worth. He doesn't have to be okay with watching other guys get a shot. He's looking to put Darby in the ground like a little bitch. And then we had the segment of the night for a lot of people. MJF and Chris Jericho's steak dinner. It started off with MJF ordering a 20-ounce steak well done, and then Jericho orders the same but wants it cooked to medium well. Then they continue one-upping one another, and then MJF goes to say they're the 2 biggest stars working with each other right now in the company. The ratings ruler has about as much chance of getting over as they say at the same time right here, Orange Cassidy. Later, after this, they both bust out into song as if they were on a Broadway musical. And when all that was said and done, they get back to business at hand, and then the segment ends with raw steak that they disgustingly did not want. And I think this was a slight dig at WWE Raw. Take that what you will. I thought it was a good segment. Next match up was Britt Baker going up against Kylan King. An enhancement match. Both lock it up to start. Britt brings her down with a headlock. Later, Kylan brings Britt down with a toe hold down on her nose, as Reba commented on the outside of the ring. Kylan counters a possible lockjaw for a 2-count roll-up. Britt later flatlines King into the turnbuckles, and Britt uses this to her advantage on the outside as she stretches King out. Later, Reba hands Britt her pink gloves, which could be for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October. Pink, the color. For the lockjaw, which King taps out from, Britt Baker wins another match. And she had a good showing again, as she did the other week. I thought it was a good match. She's clearly getting better, and this version of Britt is what AEW should have had to start with. She's gotten better in ring, and she seems to be putting on a bit more muscle, which is nice. So she's filling out. Good luck. Hope she keeps it up. Next segment, we had Steve-O with Darby Allin. Darby says before the match he's going to do this, and it was called the body bag roll-in. He's pretty much at the top of a half pipe, and he rolled down it while he was inside of the body bag, which goes to show that he can take punishment, and he is ready for that TNT title match that he will be getting at Full Gear, depending on who is the champion at that time, which many suspect will still be Cody. And if it is still Cody, I think Darby will win because he will finally get his win over Cody after 2 unsuccessful attempts. Or was it 3? Probably 3. Then we had the main event. The Butcher and the Blade versus Private Party versus the Dark Order versus the Young Bucks. FTR is out on commentary for this match. Reynolds and Nick starts the match off. Silver then jumps in and gets wrist locked. Matt then tags in and gets to work. Blade blind tags in and then gets double teamed by the Bucks. The Bucks later go to super kick Private Party, but they stop them and deliver the super kicks themselves to the Young Bucks. Quinn then runs wild on everyone as he delivers multiple topes and a senton to Reynolds. Quinn later gets his great shooting star press off on Blade for a broken up 2 count. The Butcher and the Blade later deliver their full death to Cassidy and gets a broken up 2 count. The Bucks later deliver a pile driver senton combo for a broken up 2 count. And this could have been the end. The Bucks prepared for the Meltzer driver, but Private Party interrupts and gets a 2 count on a roll up, but Matt gets a roll up pin on Cassidy for the win. And this is exactly how Private Party beat the Young Bucks last year in the tag team tournament, which knocked the Bucks out early in round 1. A nice turn of events, full circle there. The Bucks will finally face off against FTR. This is the match the fans wanted for a long time now, for years. But will it happen? Because the post-match angle tells me otherwise. FTR then heads to the ring with beers and their titles in hand. They offer the Bucks beers, but they don't like it. They smack the beers out of FTR's hands. A masked guy then hits the Bucks in the back with a chair. He then helps FTR deliver a spike pile driver to Nick Jackson. Mac's leg is then injured with a chair placement as this masked guy came down on a chair. The masked man turned out to be Tully Blanchard. And that is what we left off. And that is what the show faded to black on. I thought it was a darn good show, despite some of the many low points. There were a few low points, but Overall, the show was good, and I give it a 4 out of 5. The Colt Cabana versus Adam Page match, I give that a 3 if I didn't already. Solid match. The Britt versus Kylan King match, I give that a 2.5 because it looked good. Britt looked good, but it was an enhancement match. And then I give the tag team 4-way match, I give that a 3. Definitely Dynamite worthy. And I also have the ratings for last night. AEW had 753,000 viewers, and NXT had 644,000 viewers. New shows killed the night. If it weren't for the news, then both shows would probably see higher ratings. But there you have it. Your Elite Speak review for AEW Dynamite, October 21st, 2020. And I will catch you with the next one right here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you want to see more. I do these weekly, and the more support we get, the more often I will do other types of videos. So support the channel. Subscribing doesn't cost you a thing. Leaving a like definitely doesn't cost you anything. Take care, folks.